This Purim is unlike any other. Something is unfolding, and it's a scroll. Jesus has the scroll of the seven seals of the apocalypse in his hands, and the contents are playing out in front of our very eyes. A lot of people don't know what all of this means, but the most amazing details and connections are becoming ever clearer. You don't want to miss this one. The seven seals of the apocalypse begin with a sealed scroll, a scroll that only Jesus can open. For years, many have wondered what could be in that scroll. After watching the signs play out, it appears the main subject in the scroll is the bride, a woman who embodies the birth pangs rolled out by the four horsemen of the apocalypse, a veiled woman that has secrets, a woman hidden by God. While many still argue as to what the woman truly is, I have a feeling that the apocalypse will answer that very soon. She is the woman of the apocalypse, or the woman that is revealed, meaning the subject of the apocalypse and what is revealed during that time is the true bride of Christ. Is there a single piece of the puzzle that will become plain? I've come across information that will blow your mind. In vision, Jesus held the scroll in his hand. He opened the first four seals that embody the birth pangs of the apocalypse, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, or the four horsemen of the revealing. Birth pangs lead to a birth of something not previously seen, something hidden, like a veiled bride. These were signs of the upcoming apocalypse. The blood moons and eclipses of the sun began catching everyone's attention. There was a connection, it just wasn't understood. Historically, blood moons precede major events involving Israel, and along comes Purim 2025. Purim is about tables turning. It's about Esther. Normally, Purim would occur March 13th through 14th this year, but this year is a triple Purim. It will last through their Sabbath. It gets better. This might be a final sign that the apocalypse that brings in a great harvest of souls for God's kingdom is about to begin. How would we know that we're close? We'd have to take a look at the very next seal, the fifth seal, martyrs. This seal alerts us that Judgment Day comes when the last of their number of martyred brethren is complete. And the sixth seal is the sign of the end of the apocalypse, the day of the Lord, judgment, and a very special blood moon. And get this, nowhere else but the sixth seal are the words written, Wrath of the Lamb. Only here in the sixth seal, only this one time. Is Esther connected to martyrs? Are there signs in the news headlines that Jewish and Christian persecution is on the rise? The sixth seal is literally about the death of the last martyr and the beginning of God's judgment on earth, keeping his promise in the fifth seal that judgment would begin when their number was complete. So, between the opening of the seals to the fifth seal, we see the signs of the coming apocalypse. By the sixth seal, we see the signs of the end of the apocalypse as the moon turns to blood and a great global quake occurs. So something happens between the fifth and sixth seal, the apocalypse. The end of the apocalypse is written in the heavens in a final blood moon, and then the scroll rolls back up in the seventh seal. And it turns out that during this Purim blood moon, the blood moon is drifting through the constellations Leo and Virgo for this. This unwieldingly connects the story of Esther during Purim to the Revelation 12 signs. Esther was a Jewish woman who became queen because she was highly favored by the king. She was a bride, a crowned bride with enough oil to light the way for an entire people. Her story was written, but mysteriously hidden for centuries until now. Not only is the timing amazing, but the story you're about to hear gives me goosebumps. It came out in the news that an ancient scroll was finally deciphered. It had been in the possession of historians for a long time, but they couldn't read it. They couldn't read it because there was a wine stain on that particular scroll, as though blood had sealed this scroll. The world had to wait until the technology came about to open the scroll and read its contents. 1 year after the Revelation 12 sign, the scroll was finally deciphered, and it was astonishing. It was about Esther, a scroll shut up and sealed until the literal end of times, about a bride. The newly deciphered scroll was revealed to be the Megillat Esther. Megillat means scroll, to uncover or unravel the scroll, uncovering discovery. Esther means hidden. Together, Megillat Esther means revealing what's hidden. So not only was the scroll literally sealed, but the main person it discussed had a name that meant hidden. Fun fact, Jews are to be reading this Megillat, this Purim 2025, at the same time the blood moon happens, and the same time the blood moon is simultaneously traversing the constellations Virgo and Leo. Israel believes this is a significant sign, monumental. Now, in this scroll, there were several chapters. The first chapter of this scroll begins with a crown and willpower. It speaks of the menorah and the fact that it is commanded to women to light the menorah Shabbat candles with a crown on her head. Esther found favor in the king's eyes, and the king crowned prophet Esther. The second chapter is about Mordecai, interpreted to be about transition from prophets to rabbis, surrogate father to orphans. The third chapter is about Haman and alludes to eating of the forbidden tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's about confusion. This tree is a symbol of death. Haman is hung on wooden gallows or a tree. This chapter also speaks of the tree of life that will bring the Jews out of exile, which is, of course, Jesus the King. These signs are alluding to a great last days mystery, as well as a call back to the tree of life. As there was a war in heaven, so must there be a final war on earth. Haman and or Hamas is connected with violence and persecution. They're also connected to the fifth seal. Even the woman of Revelation 12 is persecuted and attacked. But remember, the day that Haman set for destruction was the day he set for his own destruction. Across the centuries, the Haman spirit has popped its ugly head onto the pages of history. Hitler, interestingly, literally had Jews choose a lot of 10 people to avenge the death of Haman's sons during the Holocaust. So it's a repeating Antichrist spirit back for a final showdown. Haman, Esther's adversary, is incensed that the king wishes to honor the Jews. The Megillat Esther scroll also made reference to the war scroll connecting the sons of Haman to the sons of darkness. The Antichrist army is going to be called the army of darkness, and God's army will be known as the army of light. The story of Haman and Esther is playing out in the stars and on earth right now. A hidden story is emerging, and in the most miraculous ways. Information that could never have been known by a single other generation before now. Not like this. This is the final chapter in an age-long battle between God and Satan. We are tumbling forward towards the apocalypse of the last days and the great tribulation. What is God planning for this year, considering this amount of powerful biblical signs happening all around us? Time is short, and the birth pangs are right on top of one another, but never fear. Jesus has overcome the world. I hope this blew your mind as well as expanded it. God bless everyone this triple Shabbat, last days, blood moon Purim. Something unexpected and big is going on. Has the bride made herself ready? Don't forget to share this video. Someone might really want to know about these wild connections of the biblical past to our time. That's all I have for you today, folks. I'll talk to you again soon, God willing.